Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and in today's video we're going to go over some books I've been picking up from some of my favorite online sources like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and whatnot. Now these are some really fun books, some of them for the PC, some of them I'm speculating on, so it's going to be a short video today. I've been picking up things over the last month and I realized that the piles have gotten pretty big, so I'm going to break these comic book haul videos down into smaller videos. I'm going to do one probably either like this one just for some of the online stores, and then I've got my local LCSs. I've actually got 3 different stores. I take that back. 4 different stores that I've been hitting up over the last month. New Comic Book Day worked. It got me into every one of these shops for new books, and I ended up buying more than I expected, and I got some great books, so stay tuned for those videos. You're going to really love them. They got some really good shops here in Maryland, and we'll go over those videos, or those comics and those videos in the next few days or so. But today, like I said, we're just going to do the videos. The video is going to be about the online stores that I've been picking up some things from. Let's just get into it, and we'll go from there. All right, so first thing up right here is I actually bought this. I didn't get it slabbed. I didn't send it to CGS. This is Strange Academy number 6. This is the David Nakayama cover. It's not the Virgin, but that's okay. I've loved this cover. This is probably my second favorite Nakayama cover, right after that, those Daredevil 29s that he did. And you probably heard me talking about that on one of my previous videos if you've been following my show. But I love this cover. I really like it, and I've been looking to pick it up, but what I was finding was you can buy this thing. I was finding it in that $35 to $45 range, and I'm like, okay, well, you put CGC fees right on top of that, and all of a sudden you're talking 65, 75, 85, whatever amount right there, and I'm going, okay. Or I could just buy this straight up for $68. So that's what I did. I think I paid a whole, maybe, it probably ended up closer to $80 by the time with tax and shipping. But to not go through the headache of having to wait for a copy to come in, double check it to make sure it's okay, go through that process, and then have to clean and press if I have to do that, I just went ahead and straight up bought this book. So real happy to have that in the PC. A lot less stressful too. All right, so from Whatnot, I picked up some nice books from a seller. Wasn't really looking to get back into these at this point, but I've talked about Whatnot before. I have spent too much money on there, and I've pulled myself away. And it's kind of interesting because every time I go back to Whatnot now, it seems like they have updated their platform, and it has more and more different features, and there's a million more sellers. So I'm finding it a little difficult to find sellers that I do bookmark the ones I like to work with, but trying to find them and then still looking for new dealers offering books that I want, it's a lot. So I tend not to be on there quite as much, but I did find one. He was selling some X-Men books, so let's just go through it. We've got X-Men 451. That's a really cool X-23 cover there. And I'm sorry, I don't have prices. Actually, I do. What am I talking about? I've got prices right here. This one was, it's a whole $4. This is a reprint variant, actually. But I really like the cover, and it was only $4. Next up was some more classic X-Men. We'll go in reverse order to give you a little tease, but we've got X-Men 143, and this one I probably spent too much money on, being sight unseen. It looked pretty good. I had them look it over, but again, you're trusting somebody online in the span of 10 seconds that's going to trying to sell this book to take a book out and look for you. But I spent about $23 on that, and this one is a little rougher than I would have liked. So that one is definitely going to be one of these where I probably overspent on something like that. And I'll probably just keep that as a raw book. Move that back so you can see them. Get a little bit of glare from the light. All right, next up was a really nice copy of X-Men 126. Now this is part of that Mutant X Protus storyline. John Byrne interiors. I believe this is Dave Cockrum cover. I've got this. I had this when I was a kid. These were the first X-Men that I started. Well, I had read earlier X-Men. I'd had a lot of them. I think I started during the reprint era, before '94 and before Giant Size X-Men. So I did have some of those. But the start of when I started collecting and started reading almost every storyline, every book, it was in those 120s. It was in X-Men 120s, and this was one of those issues. I've got my own original copy someplace, but I've since gone back and bought a very affordable CGC 9.6 in this. So I saw this. I ended up paying $25 for this. This is a case where this one looks really good. We'll see if it's a candidate for getting it cleaned and pressed, and maybe, I don't know, I doubt that it'll be a 9.8, but I think this one might grade out pretty good. And that's one that might be a good return on investment on that one. All right, and the last X-Men is a book that I never had, but I've wanted. It is X-Men 105. And, of course, this is Phoenix storyline. I know there's some significance to this issue, but to be honest, I don't have those notes right in front of me right now. But for this one, I paid a whole $26 on this one. So just doing a quick look. Now, I haven't taken this out of the bag and looked at it really good, but I'm telling you that this right now looks really nice. I mean, I don't see any color breaking spine ticks. I mean, I see some creases, some of that wrinkling that will come with age and handling and everything, but nothing damaging. Everything looks pressable. So I'm really excited about getting this one into the press. All right, so that was my Whatnot pickup for the last few weeks. And then the last thing for my online sellers that I've been buying over the last few weeks, I've had this for a few weeks now. I bought this for a really good price, I felt like. Especially, well, for the grade, it probably was an okay price, but, we'll talk about it. But I picked up Marvel Premiere number 15, first appearance of Iron Fist. And let's see if I can turn it and get it a little bit. Oh, that's worse. I had this is a book that I grew up with. I had this book. I still have my beater copy someplace. I had all those original Marvel Premiere books with Iron Fist in it. I had all those. Over the years, I picked up better copies of issues 16, 17, 18. I never got back to getting this one because it was just a thing. I never kind of got back into it. And I never got to that issue. And this one popped up on Heritage Auctions. It's a 4.0, and I think people stayed away from it for being a 4.0, and I felt like I don't even think with shipping and fees and everything else, I didn't even pay $200 for this. So I have to go back and do some research and see what a 4.0 price exactly is. But I took a look at this, and I took a look when I pulled it out, and I'm looking at the back. There's all kinds of, I don't want to say wrinkling, creasing. I mean, the color breaking spine ticks are right there. There's a few of them. But the cover was pretty rough. The back, both covers, very rough. And I'm going, okay, did I stumble into a book that has some pretty good pressable defects? Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is a candidate right there, and we'll have to do a little bit more research, make sure that how much do I think I could bump this up. If I can bump this up by 2 to 4 grades, if I could get this up to a 6.0, is it going to be worth it? Is it going to be worth it if it's only bumped up to a 5.5? There's all kinds of research that needs to go into these things before you go into it. Of course, you're going to end up having new grader fees and everything too. But right now, I think this is a candidate that I think I can bump up, hopefully to that 6.0, if not into the 7, maybe a 7.5. I think with the color breaking spine ticks that it's going to knock it down a little too much to go any higher than that. But I think anything higher than a 4.0, I could be really happy with. So that's what I'm thinking on this one. But anyway, guys, like I said, quick video. These are the online resources or comics I've been picking up. the rest of them are in person from most of my LCSs in the area. They are from visits to the shops during the new comic book day from a week or so ago. And from, actually, that was a big weekend last week because I made trips to all these stores that day. And then I traveled, and then on that following Wednesday, I made a return trip and actually picked up more of the free, whatever was left of the free comic books. I picked up a few more copies of everything. But in those videos, I'll go through each of those LCSs, and we'll talk about my experience and show you some of the other books that I picked up there. So anyway, guys, that is it. Quick video for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. And otherwise, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I encourage everyone to subscribe and share with your friends, be part of the conversation, and enjoy this hobby. You know, I love this hobby. I love these books, and that's why I do this. So hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So till then, take care.